I want to know your thoughts on us saving our celebrity couples and our everyday regular black male female relationships, our black on black heterosexual love. What can we do to do better? What can we do to do better? What? Where am I going at 4 o'clock? I'm coming into your house for that home cooked dinner, my sister. Lord have mercy. I'm coming into your house for that home cooked dinner. Lord have mercy. 5'5", thick in the thighs with that tight house dress on. Oh, yes. You got the mac and cheese. You got the deviled eggs. You got the baked salmon. Lord have mercy. Lord, dinner on you. Dessert is on me. Ashe. I said dinner is on you. Dessert is on me. Ashe. I said dinner. But let's get back to the politics over the punani. We losing focus. Let's get back to the politics over the punani. We losing focus. Who tapping in? Who tapping in on this black on black love?
Sister Clarion here from Kingston, Jamaica.
Good. Why I can't see your face, Sister Clarion?
Because I'm not properly dressed. I was eating and you.
Okay, no problem, mama. Shout out to all my Jamaican Africans. I'll see y'all January the 6th for the Maroon Festival in the Akapong Village. But Sister Clarion, I want you to weigh in on this. A lot of our celebrity couples are breaking up. We don't want them to break up. We want Cardi B and Offset back together again. We want Iman and Tayana back together. We want Corey and Tia back together. We want Papoose and Remy back together. We want Deion Sanders and his queen back together. But in your opinion, not just focusing on celebrities, but black on black heterosexual love, why do you think so many of our young couples are breaking up right now? What is the illusion that is leading so many black women and black men to abandon the love they have for the dream of a love that they think they will find?
The number one illusion is the internet, brother.
Tell me about that. The internet.
People are living more in the internet world than in the real world. And when they see things on internet, when they see the image and the filters and all of that on the internet, they are being lured. Their imagination is going to work based off what they are seeing and experiencing on the internet. And it's not real. It's not real. And we have to get real. Tell me another brother who is out on the ground, visiting our people all over the world, going into communities like Trenchtown, the way you came into Trenchtown in June, and will be coming back in January. Tell me another brother who is real, who is out here saying they love black people and who's out here in the real world. Our people are sitting on the internet too much. They are not coming out in the real world for nothing. The spiritual people not coming out. They're sitting on the internet meditating. The people who say they're conscious, not coming out in the communities, not going on the ground to see the condition of our people. They're sitting on the internet trying to sell you a book, trying to sell you some sage, trying to sell you a masterclass. People need to get real. So in our closest relationships, the relationships with our loved ones, we're not being real because too much of what we're experiencing is on the internet. People are afraid to go out into the real world.
Wow. So you're saying we're living in a make-believe matrix of mind control by social media.
All make-believe, brother. We're making believe that we're conscious. I should be able to name 10 Dr. Umars who are building schools for our people. You're the only one I can WhatsApp. You are the only brother I can send a WhatsApp message to and he will answer me. Everybody else is fake, showing you how much money they're making, showing you the new car they buy from the donations our people are sending.
Yes.
Who else is putting down something in the real world for the next generation? You're not real if you're not dealing with children.
Yes.
You're not grounded to reality if you're not putting nothing in place for the future generation. So when you come, brother, I'm going to take you downtown Kingston and show you how the Chinese control all the wholesales. The Chinese are selling the food to our people. You're not real if you're not supplying food. You're not real if you're not thinking about how to supply the daily needs of our people, food. If another people has to supply the daily needs of a people, then we are not being real with ourselves. Why does somebody have to come all the way from China to sell me a pound of sugar in Jamaica?
Mm.
Why does somebody have to come all the way from China to sell me a pound of flour when I'm going to bake a cake?
Wow.
All the way from China.
Wow.
Because we're not real. We don't have men out here
Mm.
willing to put the work in to build with each other. Because if you disrespect me, I'm going to gun you down. That's
Mm.
the kind of nonsense. We can't build for 5 minutes together.
Mm.
We have other people coming amongst us to take care of food, clothing, and shelter for us.
Ooh.
We're not being real.
Wow. Let me ask you this, Sister Clarion, for black women, because you know G, and we're going to fly you in because I want you to be one of the presenters there. When you talk to the young sisters, let's say I ask you and you accept to do a seminar with young sisters 18 to 25, never been married before, never been married, 18 to 25, and you're talking to them about making their marriage work with their future king. What are 2 or 3 things you would make sure you would cover? You would make sure you would tell them or teach them about making their relationship work once they find that king that they have chosen to build with. Where are the sisters? And then I'm going to ask you about the brothers. But when we're dealing with the sisters, what are the 2 or 3 things black women are getting wrong just a little bit in the household with black men? What would you share with those young sisters about marriage and making it work?
Once you make a decision to lie down with a man, that man is your king, like you said. You don't treat that man like a boy. He's a king. I used to call my husband, he's gone now, he's passed now, and I used to say, beg him, please lock up the store because I want to eat. I would never start eating before my husband came home.
Ah, wow.
And when he came home, he sat down, and whatever he needed, I got my up and got it for him. Because I was home all day. So once you make a decision that this man, I'm going to build with him, that man is your king. That man becomes the center of your world. So whatever he needs, you give it to him. That's between you and him. You understand? There are things that he's going to like, he's going to need for you to do to him, for him. That's going to be between you and that man. And that's not for you to come and put on social media. That's not for you to come and tell everybody after the relationship. You have to be the kind of woman that even when this man is gone out of your life, you're still going to respect him. And he's going to still respect you because of the way you loved him. That respect. People were surprised when I broke up with my husband because of the way I treated him in public. You would never know we had a disagreement. You would not know that my husband and I were having problems for years. I was sleeping in a separate bed, sleeping with my daughter. No one knew. Everybody in my family, everybody was surprised. Because as long as I was living with him, sleeping with him, he's still my husband. He's still my king. And respect is still due to him from everybody in my family. Somebody asked me to borrow money. I said, I'm going to speak to my husband first about it. I could have taken up the money and give it to them. But I have to, we are one. I have to get the consent, the acceptance of my husband. Can I lend my aunt some money to pay down on a house? I'm not making that decision by myself. I'm not disrespecting my husband for nobody. I am not disrespecting my husband and making nobody in my family, my friends, feel like they're above my husband. No girlfriend gonna make me disrespect my man.
Wow. Wow. Now tell me about what are the brothers doing wrong, Sister Clarion, from your perspective? Where do we need to do better for the queens?
Listen, brother, we need more of you. We need more men who are about building community, like I said, and being in the real world. Life is not about bragging. You go out there as a brother, you make some money. It's not about showing the world, oh, I bought this new car. Show me how you're lifting up people. Life is about people. I am inspired by a man who is lifting up people, not by a man showing me how much money he made. You could be making all that money, but you went and you bought an expensive car. You didn't go and start a farm and say, you know what, I'm going to make sure everybody in my community eats.
Woo.
Grow some yam, some pumpkin, plantain, sweet pepper, onion. And say, you know, I'm going to make sure the children, there's nobody else. Do you know there are properties in Jamaica that rent for 10 and 20,000 US dollars a week? Woo. Nobody in Jamaica should be hungry.
Wow.
That's what should inspire our women. A man who is about building community. Because when you lift people up, your house automatically is lifted up. Listen, if I'm thinking about feeding 200 people, if I want to go and deliver 200 meals, automatically my family of 5 gets fed. That's nothing to feed 5 people if my mindset is about lifting up 200 people. And we need women who are inspired by that caliber of men. Marcus Garvey said, where are our statesmen, our leaders, our men of character? They are so wanting right now. Whatever you need, brother, it needs to be given unto you because you're the only one out here on the ground. And it's 2024. Marcus Garvey left us over 100 years ago. And, you know, look at where we're at. Still only one young brother carrying the mantle. Still just one young brother. And there's still people, still our own people trying to bring you down. When what are you doing for the community? Community is the focus. Community is what protects us. Community is what stops a father from raping an 8-year-old because you know the brothers are going to come for you.
That's right.
And deal with you.
That's right.
That's going on left, right, and center in Jamaica. The babies, 5, 6, 7, 8-year-olds are being.
Wow.
Community is what protects us.
That's right.
The women and the girls, when the brothers build community and they keep close to each other. So a father, a man has to think twice about touching a baby.
That's right. That's right. Sister Clarion, did you get that WhatsApp message I sent you?
Yes, sir. So I sent you something.
Okay.
About a rent-a-car company. Because it seems like the rent-a-car companies are like Airbnb. I've never rented like that.
Okay.
But I'm trying to get an SUV for you because, you know, we're going into the hills. So we definitely need an SUV. So look at it and tell me. I don't know. It's called Economy Bookings and I don't know that company. So I don't know if it's something you know.
Okay.
To book with. Yeah.
Because what I'll do is I'll send you the money and you take care of it.
Well, how they seem to work is like you have to book it online like an Airbnb.
Okay. Can I book it?
Yeah.
Can I book it in your name though?
Yeah, I think you can put in the license, you know, whoever's going to drive, you can put in that person's name.
Okay. I want you to call them and make sure. Tell them it's going to be reserved by somebody in America, but I'm going to be the driver.
Yeah.
Tell me so that way when you give me all the information, it all work out right.
But that's what I'm saying. It looks like they don't even have a location here in Jamaica. It's totally internet based. So I don't know, but I'm going to check around. I'm going to go like to the local companies here and call them and see. But I have been doing it, but some of them don't have an SUV and some of them are booked like December, January. It's
Okay.
So that's what's happening. So if anybody is in Jamaica and is listening and you have an SUV for rent, Dr. Umar needs an SUV the first week of January.
My Jamaican Africans, I need an SUV for when I come to Jamaica. Send me a text message. +1 215 989 9858. My Jamaican family. +1 215 989 9858. We need an SUV. SUV. Can we borrow your SUV? Anybody in Jamaica who will rent or loan Dr. Umar the SUV for 2 nights, please hit me up or hit Sister Clarion up. Either way, Queen, great words, and I'm going to reach out to you a little later on so we can build on that.
Yes, brother. Bless.
Okay, my mama. Be blessed. Yes, indeed. That was my good Sister Clarion representing my Jamaican Garveyite family. Can't wait to see my Jamaican Garveyite family when I get there January 6th. Who tapping in on black heterosexual love? Who got something to say about black heterosexual love? Tap in. Tap in. Who got something to say about black heterosexual love? Tap in. Where Chloe B at? Going once. Chloe B going twice. Chloe B going 3 times. Where you at, Chloe?
Peace, brother Umar. How are you?
I'm well. Where are you based at, Queen?
I'm based out of Colorado. I'm originally from California.
All right, you in Denver?
The spring, so like an hour. Yeah.
Okay. Problem. So what
yeah, but first,
black love, my queen. Why we got so many young black couples breaking up? Regular couples, celebrity couples. Why we can't hold these young couples together? Sister Clarion gave us some powerful insight, and I want you to add left off. What do you think? What's going on with black love in Colorado?
Honestly, black on black love, I feel like out in Colorado, but I think we deal with the same things that a lot of people deal with the interracial and all that stuff. And a lot of times I don't see our sisters doing it as much as I see our brothers. And I think a lot of the situation with black love right now, I feel like our brothers need healing. If we're being completely honest, we got sisters, they're out here outpacing everybody in the whole world, business-wise, education-wise, we look good, all these things. But I have so many friends that are successful, beautiful, single, you know what I mean? And it gets to a point where it's like our brothers need healing. They need man school, they need husband school, they need God. Yeah, I just seen somebody say they need God. And it's just becoming critical mass watching our brothers, because it's like, even if they are in families, if they are, they don't necessarily have the role models they need to become the man that we need. Because our community, we need our men to be strong. Black women, we are overwhelmingly raising our sons. So we cannot say, it's giving Chloe Bailey, thanks. We can't say that the women are, the women are somehow failing our sons. We can't say that if the men are leaving us, you know what I'm saying? And we can say, Kitten Hills and all those people were always talking about women and giving the causation with women. But at the end of the day, we're talking about grown men. You know what I mean? We can't control them to do anything. So it's up to them and just us as a collective, us as women too. You know what I mean? Like, I love my brothers. I like my brothers. I've been married for 15 years and I'm not even going to hold you. It's difficult. Like, it's not easy at all. But I just think we as a collective need healing, but I really genuinely do think our brothers need so much healing.
Yeah. There's a lot of, and I can testify from a therapeutic standpoint, a lot of black men harbor a lot of trauma that never gets addressed because it's counter to the dysfunctional type of masculine definition that they have ascribed to.
That is so true.
Some of our men have a definition of masculinity that includes the denial of trauma. It also includes the refusal to seek professional help for that trauma.
You preaching right now.
And for example, let's take erectile dysfunction. A lot of black men suffer from erectile dysfunction. Now, let me differentiate between the erectile dysfunction that comes from bad diet and disease. I'm talking about the erectile dysfunction that comes from psychological issues that are overwhelming your unconscious, which is affecting your ability to perform with your woman in the bedroom. A lot of black men who are suffering from unaddressed trauma are suffering from erectile dysfunction. I think our sister's live feed went out. Tap back in where you can, Sister Chloe. Steel City Blue, where you at, King?
I'm from Fayetteville, North Carolina. I'm in Florida right now.
What part of Florida, black man?
Right outside Orlando in Ocala.
Okay, you might need to drive up to the Brendan Depper protest we're going to have up in Bunnell on January 31st.
Okay, that's peace. That's peace.
Can come stand with us to try to support our young brother. But what's your take, black man, on the black on black heterosexual love? The sisters kind of told us where the brothers are falling short. and where the sisters are falling short. Where do you feel black men versus black women are falling short on black love?
I think it has to do with more of a compatibility in our raising of and how we was raised. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's no one thing that you can say that that we're breaking up. I think it has more to do with, before we get in these relationships, is getting to know each other. You know, a lot of times we get in these relationships, we might just like one thing about this person, two things, but we don't overall know what we're getting into, you know.
Wow.
And I honestly believe black love is powerful, you know.
You think we might be moving too fast?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I am, you know, I mean, a victim of that. You know, I've been in relationships where I moved too fast with women and it didn't work out. So yeah, that's definitely one of the reasons.
Now,
I just got out the shower too. I was rushing. I seen you was on live.
Yes,
you
sir.
know,
Good.
to me you do great work. You know, I mean, I love what you're doing for our community. You know, I love the things you're pushing.
Appreciate
you know, I think though, with the divorces in our community, it is high. We got a high divorce rate in America, period.
We do.
So when it comes to the black community, you know, I mean, I think that a lot of times our examples that we look at from relationships is what hinders us. You know, a lot of times we go into relationships thinking, you know, I mean, how the other relationships we've seen, you know, I mean, instead of actually going into love and what we like, you know. I think that's a big part of
role of lust, my brother. When we talk about lusting after another person, I see a lot of relationships get destroyed over lust, bro. So it's not even that I think this woman would be a better wife. It's not even that. I'm purely so enamored by her fat or how sexy she is that I'm willing to risk my marriage just to sample that cookie over there. Why do you think we are so undisciplined sexually in terms of that lust factor? Talk to me about the lust, and women too, because you know I work.
Yeah, I like that you said that, because to me it's not a man or a woman thing. I don't like us going against each other. I don't like us battling each other. I think that's one of the problems with society. A lot of times our black men and women are going against each other. We have to come together and stick together on a lot of stuff, man, because people want to separate us. I think we have to realize that, you know what I mean? And I think the temptations in which we fall for definitely hinders, you know, our way of thinking. It hinders our marriages, you know what I mean? It breaks families up. You know what I mean? Yeah, we definitely have to be more disciplined in our lustful actions. You know, I agree with that.
Great point. One more question for you, King. We don't have enough black men to go around. Heterosexual. We don't have.
You know, black women outnumber our black men.
Right.
You know?
So my question to you is this: where do you stand on the introduction of polygyny into the black community, given the fact brothers? Are brothers too immature to handle polygyny? Are sisters in too much competition with each other to join in on polygyny? Where do you think the bigger issue going to come? Are men going to abuse it? Are we going to abuse polygyny if sisters gave us that right? Or are sisters too jealous of one another to become a part of a plural relationship? What's your take on polygyny?
Let's see. You know, I studied, you know, religions. I actually used to practice Islam. So in their practice, you know, having more than one wife, you know, is a way of their religion. I'm not Muslim, but you know, polygamy is something that goes back to me with the compatibility. You know what I mean? It goes back to if, you know, you and your partner or partners can agree and come to an understanding and still be able to keep that love, you know, which is hard. I'm gonna be honest. I don't honestly, our society now, our black communities now, I don't believe, you know, it's a lot of dysfunction To me, it would be more of, it would be jealousy. It would be a lot of jealousy, man. And then with me, I'm gonna look at it from my standpoint, because I don't want to speak on it from and talk about the way others may feel. From my standpoint, I just want one woman. You know what I mean? I believe one woman.
Now, when you say that, are you being honest, my king? And the reason I'm saying, because a lot of brothers will say, I only want one.
Now, hold on. Now, the idea of having more than one woman, you know, it does excite me. Yeah, the idea of it. But the reality of it, man, you know, I was raised by black women. You know what I mean? I was, you know, I've never dated a white woman in my life. You know what I mean? So yeah, the idea of being with more than one woman is yeah, that's exciting. That's exciting. But the actual, when you actually get into that, of being able not only to take care of them, but to deal with these different personalities and to support and go through everything that they go through also. So when you talk about having 4 to 5 wives, that's a lot.
Yeah, that's too many.
For one man to deal with, that's a lot.
I would say 2. I'm gonna have 2 queens, not no 3, 4. That's crazy.
Right. Okay. I mean, 2 maybe, but even then, they've got to agree.
Yes. The women got to work.
That idea of 2 wives may not be bad, you know what I mean? But you would have to definitely find 2 extraordinary women who can come to understanding of what's going on. You know.
I got.
But it's definitely, I think, the compatibility. We have to get to know each other. We really have to sit down. People got to talk nowadays. We don't talk. We get straight to the point. You know, we'll go out. You know what I mean? We don't necessarily get to know each other in a deep sense of who this person is and what, you know what I mean, why I really and truly love this person. We go to, like you said, we go to these lustful actions and these temptational actions, and yeah, it can cause a lot of discord in our communities. You know what I mean?
Thanks for that word, my brother. Thanks for that word. And think about coming.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Be blessed, King.
You too.
Right now. Who tapping in next? We got a few more minutes. Who tapping in? Black on black, heterosexual love. We talking solutions. Where y'all at? Where y'all at? Molly Wop going once. Sister Molly Wop going twice. Sister Molly Wop going 3 times. Where you at, Molly Wop?
Oh, shit.
How you doing, bitch?
What's going on?
I'm doing all right. That's Sister Kiera. What's your take on black love? Why we got so many young couples divorcing out here? What's the problem?
I think they're marrying too soon.
Why do you say?
I think we need to go back to arranged marriages. What you think?
Arranged marriage where the parents choose. I'm not against it if you're marrying virgins. If you're marrying virgins, arranged marriage is perfect because you have nothing to compare her to. You have nothing to compare him to. So if we stop before marriage, I think arranged marriage would be perfect and it would work. The reason arranged marriages were so successful is because they were marrying virgins. Now, will arranged marriage work between non-virgins? I don't know about that, because you already have a preference. You already have certain likes and dislikes. You already have certain biases. I don't know if it can work for experienced people, because if your mother and father choose somebody who don't do certain things you like to do, who don't present with certain qualities you want, I don't see how it can work with people who are experienced. I think it would be tough.
Yeah. That was my point. I'm saying, like, to actually fix what's going on right now.
Oh yeah, if we started with the children, if we started with the children, if we say every child under 18 still a virgin, because you know teenagers, they be losing if they still a virgin under 18, it's going to be an arranged marriage. That would help heal the community. That hands down, that would help heal the community for the children, and that's probably something we need to look at. But here's a question for you. I'm gonna push it back because you brought up a good topic. Do you think black parents, here's my question for you. Do you think black parents are comfortable with an arranged marriage? Because remember now, if I'm going to arrange my daughter's marriage, if I'm choosing her future husband, if the don't work, she gonna blame daddy. Do you think we're willing to take that responsibility on as parents? Are parents mature enough to handle the responsibility of choosing their children's future mates?
Yes, but I think everyone needs to be involved. I think the grandparents, more of like the older generation, they need to have like more so like the final say so. But I feel like as long as you explain to your daughter or son what's really going on, everything will be okay. I
Okay.
think it all goes into just explain communication. They'll understand that,
I
you know,
got now.
it's
Let
just
me
back to culture. I think if that becomes our culture again,
right.
as the youth will understand, like they might not have gotten everything right on the first choice, but sometimes it just takes trial and error, I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
But
Let me ask you this. If you had a magic wand and you could eliminate one problem a lot of black men have that leads to failed relationships, and you could eliminate one problem that a lot of black women have that leads to a failed relationship, what would be the one problem you would eliminate for the women, and what would be the one problem you would eliminate for the men? If you could eliminate just
I'll just get one for both, not knowing what we want.
okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
But it really just comes down to we just out here just freely dating, just not really knowing what it is that we want. And then we end up making the wrong decisions or going into something, expecting something else, but you didn't
We
even.
lost the value of sexual intimacy. We don't value it.
Mm-hmm.
Sexual intimacy is no longer sacred for black America. Would you say that's correct?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay. Okay. I can see that. Sex is more of a commodity than it's more of a commodity than a value, than a force, than
Mm-hmm.
more of a commodity than what's the word I'm looking for? Than a principle.
Mm-hmm.
You see, so I can see you on that. I can see you on that. You have very old-fashioned, although correct, I agree with it, but you have very old-fashioned views for such a young woman. Why is that? Is that your mother? Is that your Why your views are more traditional than women your age? Why? On
Oh, you
relationships?
talking about me personally?
Yes. Like
Um,
when you brought up arranged marriage, most women your age are not bringing that up as a solution. So where do you get that traditional perspective on black heterosexual love?
really putting me on the spot now. I don't want to tell them all. Well, I'm gonna say this. I didn't really grow up in a traditional household. I come from a family where a lot of siblings, all of us different dads. There wasn't many marriages in my family as well. But when I would look at, like, I grew up in the church as well, so I looked at the couples that was in the church that was married for many, many years, and I saw how things was a lot easier. I understand everything might have, been different behind closed doors, and it might not have been perfect, but it just far as maneuvering through society, it looked like it was a lot easier. So I would look at that and say, okay, that's what I want when I grow up. And I would just model after them.
Well,
Whatever. So I
question.
would ask, like when I was younger, I would ask a lot of questions on just how people life became to where it is at that time. And so I would tell them, okay, this is what I need to do to get what they have.
Powerful. Another
Yeah.
question for you. Uh, are black women too materialistic? A lot of men complain that the sisters are too materialistic. They want a lifestyle that a lot of black men cannot provide.
No, I think
Or
you're
not.
gonna what it is that you're putting out. I mean, maybe they're just attracting those type of women because deep down inside, that's what they may like as well.
In other words, he would not be with a materialistic woman if he didn't attract one into his life.
Right, right.
Well
It's
said. Well
all
said.
materialistic. We're not.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Thank you for tapping in, Queen. Great info, Kiera. Great info.
You hold on, wait.
Who we got next to tap in? Who we got next to tap in? Who we got next to tap in? I am Phoenix Rising going once. I am Phoenix Rising going twice. I am Phoenix Rising. Where you at, beautiful Phoenix? There you go. Where you joining?
Hey, Dr. Umar. How you doing?
Good to see you. Where you joining us from?
Tampa Bay,
Tampa
St.
Bay,
Pete.
Florida. I will be at Florida A&M is Tallahassee, right?
Yes.
How
Yep.
far is that from Tampa Bay?
It's about 4 hours. Well, 3 hours.
Okay, got you. No problem. Give us your insight on black heterosexual love, my queen. If we're going to save the black family, the young black family, all these newlyweds getting divorced, where do you think it starts?
So me and my girlfriends, we were talking about this, and I started to think about, how I was conditioned as a little girl. And I would say sitting in a movie theater, watching these love stories for about 2 hours, you see a man and a woman meet each other. Then there's like the climax and, they fall in love. And by the end of the movie, they're married. So as a little girl, you conditioned to believe that the way media portrays life and marriage is the right way. So you approach relationships the same way. And like the young lady before, I went to church. I started looking at the men and women in church, and I felt like, oh, okay, I can achieve that too. But I was sadly mistaken. When I got out into the community and I started, dating, I realized these movies are lies. You cannot meet somebody, fall in love, and then live happily ever after. Relationships are nuanced. And then I think there's a whole agenda in America right now when it comes to our men and our women, or young men and young women. I don't exactly know, but I know when we were growing up, we didn't see the level of, I would say, homosexuality that we see now. And I'll say it on an open platform. I don't think there's anything wrong with our LGBT community. I'm an ally, but at the same time, I think there is an underbelly. There's something else going on, something else at play. So when you have all that in the mix of people not, understanding reality and how to approach relationships, it makes it hard. And I say black men and black women too have a lot of anger towards each other that I think is unresolved trauma from our childhoods. And we step into these relationships and we start warring against each other. I'm right and you're wrong, when in actuality, it's just that little unhealed boy or unhealed girl that hasn't really dealt with the trauma. And so then it starts manifesting in relationships. So I said a lot, but I think it's hard. It's hard to find a man out here.
Now let me ask
and a woman.
you a question. Are you a single woman?
Yes,
Now,
I am.
You're a very beautiful woman. Why are you single?
A couple reasons. I have a son, who I feel I'm trying to protect, because I grew up seeing women get with men who they put the man before the child. And I was like, I will be damned if I did that to my son. I got a lot going on in my life. I'm really busy. So I use it as an excuse, and I've been single so long, I get annoyed very fast. And I'm scared, to get my heart broken too. So it's a lot.
I think that is true for a lot of single women. The need to protect the children from abusive men, and also to protect your heart from going through that trial and tribulation of another failed relationship. Does that keep a lot of sisters from venturing out to try to find that love?
Yeah.
It is. Thank you.
Yep.
A bit. Do you think y'all can exaggerate the danger a bit? Or do you feel that y'all fear is appropriate?
Oh, that's a great question. So I think experience and trauma has a lot to do with that. So you may think something is a red flag when it's really not, because it looks similar to something you've experienced, and not necessarily having a good example of a man. You may have this notion in your brain. So when you meet somebody who is coming correct, it triggers something in you. You may not even understand that this is a good man because you've never really seen it before, So yeah, I think sometimes we do exaggerate the fear. There's also a part where I guess some of us feel like we attract the same type of guy. And then you're like, okay, well, maybe there's something wrong with me. So again, I feel like there's no blueprint to it. You definitely have to be open, but it's hard because you hear horror stories and you hear love stories, and you just try to find the middle ground, I guess you could say.
One more question for you. Great insight, Queen. I've heard from women that black men, many of us, that we are good in the relationship until permanent responsibility enters the conversation. In other words, as long as we're dating, going on vacation, spending time with each other, it's great. But soon when the sister says, even if we're not getting married, let's have a conversation about permanent responsibility. In other words, when are we going to start working together financially to cover these bills? You see, to build for the future, to go into a business together. A lot of sisters I've heard says that as soon as when they start talking about collectivism in a long-term sense, soon when sisters start talking about permanent responsibility, long-term, when they want to give the brother some responsibility, a lot of men tend to bail out the relationship, even if it was great. At the point that she wants to talk about responsibility, they tend to disappear, aka commitment, responsibility, commitment. Has that been your experience? And why do you think black men are so afraid of commitment if that is the case?
I would say, I'm not a black man, so I'm on the outside looking in, but I would say it was the institutionalized racism that has a lot to do with it by removing the black man from the household. So therefore that black son is relying on the mom, and he doesn't have an example of what it is to be in a long-term committed relationship. And like I said, we've been brainwashed that by the media subconsciously, like things are happening like we live in a microwave society. So the first sign of trouble or trauma, we're out of there because one, we're coming in with fear. As long as everything is good, I'm okay. And to me, the value of love, you can't tell me you love me unless you've been through something with me. So when we go through hard times and we come out on the other side, that's to me the definition of love. Having a good time, making me feel good about myself, you're not really proving to me that you're a soldier and that if something happens to me, you got my back. But when we go through something tough, that's when I can see who you are. But most people don't even get across that hump because of fear of rejection, or they just don't have it in them. They haven't been trained. And, nobody wants to be hurt these days. So I hope I answered that question right.
Thanks for that insight too, Queen. And FAMU Psychology Conference is March the 25th through the 30th. So if you're able to make it, probably they want me to stay the whole week. I don't know if I can stay the whole week. They want me to stay the whole week. I'm definitely one of the kickoff keynotes on the 25th of March, but I'm going to try to hang around to the 30th, but try to come on up. And I might even try to get to Tampa too, because I was supposed to be in Tampa this week, but that didn't work out. So I'm going to try to maybe do FAMU and then I didn't know y'all was 4 hours apart. I don't know why I thought Tallahassee and Tampa Bay was like next door neighbors. That ain't the case, huh?
No, it's a whole different culture too. But yeah, they're about 3.5 hours. Yeah, I'll try to make it. But if you can come down to Tampa, look, let me know. We have a great community of Black folks, and I'm gonna shout out the Dr. Carter G. Woodson African American Museum. We're in the process of a capital campaign with the Tampa Bay Rays, and so we're trying to be the first purposeful African American Museum of Florida. So if you get a chance, look it up. And if you're in Tampa Bay, check it out.
I'm going to do it, Queen. You be safe out there.
All right. Bye. Have a good evening.
Right now.